Okay, Joe Leigh here for SecondsOut. Alexis, what a night. Something unlike no other, I guess you could say, in terms of celebrity boxing. He's done a whole new thing here tonight, KSI, of course, we're talking about. First things first, how did you find the night as a trainer from the trainer's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, these were boxing fights. I mean, all the guys here, they all train like boxers. They all working their butts off, and there was a level of professionalism that you don't see in other kind of YouTube events. And these guys, really put it out on the line.
What did you think of the two fights, starting with Swarms?
I thought Swarms was exactly how I thought it was going to go. He always had, he was unpredictable, had a really big punch, was a bit erratic, and you had to just be disciplined, which I thought JJ showed some maturity in his boxing. Didn't go and try and go for the kill, took his time and tried to find a good, sweet shot. He was definitely game, but I think once he felt that sort of power, he didn't, it was hard for him to fight JJ, knowing that there was that sort of power coming to him.
He kept saying in the build-up, I'm a madman. He fought like a madman, didn't he, as you say, with those wild shots?
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to remember the kid took it on relative short notice, and he's a gutsy kid. Comes from a good team. They definitely put their plan on, but that one shot's not going to be enough to deal with someone like JJ. He's too seasoned for it. Like I said, we sparred over 130 rounds for this fight, so he's too seasoned for that kind of one punch to get him. And it was a matter of time before we ate him up.
And then obviously KSI eventually beats a professional boxer before Jake Paul.
Yeah, look, I think people don't realise about JJ. The kid's a monster. Like, he works so hard, and he wants to perform, and he wants to better himself every day. And he's sparring pro boxers in the gym. He's sparring amateurs. He's sparring martial artists, MMA guys. He's sparring loads of different guys. So to do a pro boxer, a Mexican at that, who had over 50 amateur fights, 2 pro wins, it's a feat in itself. And I think once a kid felt that power, he obviously didn't want any of it. So it goes to show a testament to JJ how hard he punches and the pressure he puts on people.
He seems to be making excuses in there as well.
Oh, the Mexican?
Yeah, back of the head shots when a lot of them weren't.
I think you got to remember when things don't go your way, you always look for excuses, right? Like, my laces were undone, the fucking window was open, whatever it is. Look, ultimately we're coming to fight. That's what we're doing, right? So JJ put pace on him, put the pressure on, tried to get him to throw so that he could slip and counter. Kid wasn't having it, it was on his back foot, so it was up to us to put pressure on him, throw those nasty shots, around the livers, around the body, and then if you had to clip him because he was turning his head and you clip him to the side of the head, it's fighting, so what happens, I thought the referee was actually too nice to him, if I'm being honest with you. I thought he should have got told off and he should have got a count for it.
On who KSI called out, there was Tommy Fury, Anderson Gibb, Austin McBroom. Do you know, obviously Tommy Fury, a lot more people will know, but do you know these Austin McBroom characters, Andrew Tates of the world? Yeah,
I know Andrew Tate very well. He sparred in my gym before. The other guys, no, not massively, but obviously I have been educated and seen them. So I have seen Austin, I have seen Gibb. Gibb came to spar as well. So I know a few of the names and a few of the guys, and they're all training like pros. They're all training like professional fighters. So they're all tough kids. But I'm going to be brutally honest with you. JJ's on a different level to those guys, and I think he's got to progress his career in that way. Like, for me personally, from a coaching perspective, I mean, these fights are great and they're massively entertaining. But if you want progression, I see JJ leveling up, and he's got his eye on Jake Paul, and that's what we're employed to do. We're employed to get him there, so that's what we'll do. But ultimately, it's a progression in JJ that I care about. In KSI, as a boxer, as a fighter, as an athlete, that's what we have to make sure we just keep progressing every single time we fight, and that's what we're going to be doing.
His shot selection was much better than we saw in previous fights, with the Logan Paul as the best example. Everyone would say too wild, didn't look so good in terms of a boxer, but tonight it was a lot more sharp and better overall output. Yeah,
it's super difficult to get a great punch selection when guys are running away, because you limit a lot of shots. Like, you can't find uppercuts, you can't find slips and rides if a guy's not throwing back at you. So it's very difficult. The shot selection was really good, but he's got if you see some of the stuff the kid does in the gym, it's amazing. But it takes 2 to dance, right? But sometimes you need that partner to bring out in you, and there's no shame. Swarm put on a good fight, and this Mexican, he was overwhelmed with power, and he realised he didn't want to get splashed in front of everyone and have a really bad night. So I understand not digging in, but JJ's got a lot more in the tank than that.
What happens, KSI, Tommy Fury, in that fight?
Personally, Tommy's comes from a great boxing family, fighting family. He's obviously a solid boxer. He throws certain shots that that JJ works really well against. We've seen it in sparring. Absolutely no disrespect to Fury, but I think JJ has got a knockout punch on him that puts anybody his way out, and that's a fact. I mean, he carries an enormous amount of power. I've trained Very, very good fighters, boxers, heavyweight champions of the world, guys have been to World War II second. I'm telling you, JJ's got a mad amount of power in his hands. So any of those guys get touched by that shot, they're getting slept.
How likely would you say Tommy Fury KSI, Tommy gets stopped?
Yeah, if they fight, I mean, there's no other way. JJ's not going for a points win. That's just not his character. The thing about trainers are, what you can't do is teach people to be something that they're not. JJ's a killer, and our job is to accentuate that feeling and that fact. What we can't do is play him out for points and do certain things. Obviously, we want the win, but his own character, his own fight has to be. He's got to be true to his own form. Yeah.
On the first fight happening, then going back to the changing room, having to prepare for another one. I know you told me the other day you've been involved in tournament style things before, so you kind of knew how to work around that. But what was it like? What happened? Actually, we'll start with after the Swarms fight. You kind of have that buzz, but you've got to be concentrating on the next fight as well.
Yeah. So straight after the fight, we came in and did a workout. We did a cool down. You'd get your heart rate from a peaking perspective. Obviously, his adrenaline's up. He's just KO'd somebody. He comes back down. If he sat down flat, his heart rate would drop dramatically, and you'd have a lull in performance. So we'd put him in there, and we actually did a workout. We actually did a pad session straight after the fight and bring his heart rate down gradually. And then we cut the wraps off, went to the doctors, make sure he was all good, and then cooled down again a little bit, make sure we hydrated, ate a tiny little bit of food, good music, good jokes, chill a little bit, and then we start the whole process again.
Was there an issue at any point of maybe this wouldn't be a good idea? No, we've done it so much in the gym. Listen, there's nothing that we're going to do per chance. We're not one. It's risky enough getting in the ring with someone that's trying to kill you, so we want to try and eliminate all the other risks. JJ, we've had 6 rounds, 8 rounds in the gym, back to back with different sparring partners. We know he can do that. We know his gas tank's good enough for that. So to split the fights up into 2 threes, which is what the board would allow us to do. Obviously, even when they were professional boxing, they wouldn't let you go past 3 rounds. So a lot of people are saying, why not 4, why not 6 rounds? They won't let you do that. It's a tournament. We're having 2 fights in one night. The board doesn't let professional boxers with 50 fights do more than 3 rounds in one night. So let alone someone who is debuting against a Mexican. What do you think it shows and proves about JJ's mentality, the fact he was able to, like you say, cool down straight after winning a fight and then get back up, back focused and have 2 fights in one night? Just an overall perspective on that.
Yeah, it shows the level of professionalism. It shows the maturity in him. It shows that, he's excitable, he wants to please, he wants to perform, but there's also a level of composure that he's got that separates him from others. That level of composure is what's going to make him a champion in what he does. It's going to make him a winner, and that's what he is. He wins in everything he does. So the idea that he kept his discipline together, the idea that he kept his composure, made sure he didn't get overexcited. I mean, he had a knockout win. He saw his brother win, which was fantastic, and then he warmed up and fought, a Mexican, pro boxer, and knocked that guy out too. I mean, what a night! It's a historic night for him, and I'm just, I'm super privileged to be part of it, and very, very happy for him. Really happy for JJ as well.
Last thing is, what was the last thing you said to KSI after the second win? The first thing, sorry.
I don't think I can repeat that.
The first thing you said after the win, was it what was it?
No, I told him I was really proud of him. I told him I was really proud of him because I know what he can do, and it means so much to him. You got to remember, he's all in. He's chip committed. Everything rides on these things. It's a big thing. Every single part of him rides on this. So for a guy to roll the dice, and do that in front of the world, it's a fucking ballsy move. You know what I mean? It's a real ballsy move, and not a lot of people do that. You got to remember, these other YouTubers and stuff, they don't have any other careers. This kid's got number 1 in 27 countries. He's got businesses around the world. He's established. He doesn't need to do this, which is a scary thing about him. He doesn't need to do this. He wants to do this, and that's a scary thing for people to understand. He's got this in him. He wants to do it. So I'm really proud that he finished the camp. He sparred as much as he did. He's been with a bunch of killers for the last 3 months in London shoot fighters. Just non-stop every day, just grinding. And if you'd have seen some of the stuff, it's nuts. To think what he's gone through to get to where we are. So I'm super happy for him and proud of him.
Brilliant. Well, I really appreciate your time. Last of all, actually, I've said this a few times, but do you know when he's going to want to fight again? I think we'll be looking to get out by January, if not sooner. But I think that we've got to keep the momentum going on the fights, and also once you're fit, you never want to lose it. It's always harder to get that cardio back again, so it's important.